Now we're joined by Sabit Abbasi from the DuPage County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Today we're going to talk about cybersecurity. Welcome back, Sabit.
Thank you.
Cybersecurity. Wow,
Yeah,
that sounds so interesting.
It's so apropos. Everybody's worried about it. Everybody is
We have to know more about it. We don't know enough. Everything is very convenient, but is it safe?
It seems like the security features sometimes need security features.
Right, and
It's like you keep doubling up on these things. They don't work.
And that's a issue with the technology. It's great when you need it, but then it changes so often and it updates that we have to be aware of those changes and understand the risks and the benefits and kind of decide based on that, is the risk worth the benefit, or is the benefit worth the risk, and vice versa, and taking that into account.
Well, it seems like there's more crimes committed where the hackers, look at the big stores, like Walmart and Target, that they were hacked, I guess.
Into, yeah.
And then it puts everybody, at risk, all the customers.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to work around that is just use cash. Many of these stores that you reference, people use credit cards. So sometimes it might just be easier to use cash and not have to worry about having your credit card number stolen or your debit card information stolen, because there's only so much you could do. You go to a store, you purchase things, you go to a restaurant, you pay for it. There's so much you could do that on the other end, it's these criminals that will find a way to collect that information.
Well, I know sometimes you pay cash and you get a deduction. You actually can save a little money sometimes,
Well,
because they have to pay on the credit card.
They have to pay on the credit card. That's why some credit cards they won't accept. They might cost more than others. But it's funny that you say that, because for a while there, the stores were encouraging credit card because the transaction is so simple. And now we're going back to the other way, to pay cash.
It talks about going back to prevention as the best medicine. So rather than thinking of ways of how to correct a mistake or correct something, just prevent it. And the simplest way of preventing is just using less of it. Or for example, I use a credit card when I really have to. When I go out, I try to pay in cash, but at the same time, I know certain places will only accept cash. And that's why you'll see at some places when you go to restaurants, they need to have a minimum of, they can accept a minimum of 2 credit cards. They won't accept like 5 or 6 credit cards. So because of that, one reason I carry cash in my wallet, because I never know when I'm with company, and the restaurant will only accept 2 credit cards maximum, because they have to pay a fee to be able to use it.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the consumers go, what else can the consumer do to protect themselves?
How do they protect themselves? Yes.
Sure. Since it is October is the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we are talking about the different ways residents can protect themselves. So one example is, we talk about is credit card. How do we protect ourselves from credit card use? So maybe, with the newer cards, they come with a chip that's built in. So it's convenience, where you just kind of walk by a gas station and just kind of wave it, and it will register that it's your credit card and charge you. But maybe talking to your credit card issuer and let them know that I would personally want a card that does not have that chip in. That way I actually have to physically swipe it in order for it to work. Because the concern is, if it just reads off of and being in the close proximity, someone who walks by you having a device to be able to take that information. And that's something just be aware of.
And the general public, they're not aware how these hackers do these things, how they could pick up your information. You think you're looking around and you're being careful, and it doesn't happen. I know we had an experience many years ago where we used to have a phone card, and we had flown out to New York City, and we're at Grand Central Station, and I was calling home to let my family know we arrived safely. And then we had visited friends, and we had traveled a little bit on ground travel, and I went to use my card again to call from a hotel, and I couldn't get through. When we got home, they called us, and they said, did you go to, where did they say?
We had calls that went to China, that went to Singapore. It was $2,000 on
And they said somebody picked up our number, At that time, with a phone card, you had to punch in your number on the phone. Well, it's a wall phone, which people don't see too much anymore. And I'm punching in the number, and they said they could be standing with their back to you, but they have a mirror. And they'll pick it up backwards, but they'll know how to reverse it. And I was stunned because I thought I was pretty safe.
Yeah, you're really never totally safe. Now, Bluetooth, got to be careful with that too.
Yeah, so Bluetooth is a device, you know, nowadays it comes for most phones, smartphones, they have a feature where you turn it on or off. And when you see those hands-free handset, those are connected to your phone via Bluetooth. The concern there is, you know, because Bluetooth works if you're in a close proximity, someone can actually access your phone and basically take data from there. So they could access your email accounts, they can access your bank account information. So if you've got a software that you use to access your bank account, they could access that information. So the suggestion would be use it when you have to. So turn on the feature when you need to and turn it off. And then again, make it non-discoverable. So what that means is when you turn it on, it broadcasts saying this is, you know, so for example, as an example, my phone could say Samsung Galaxy, you know, Sabit or something, and people would be able to see that. And I would turn it off to non-discoverable, so people wouldn't be able to see that.
Sure.
And that's a way to protect even your home public, you know, home Wi-Fi networks, is to make it non-discoverable, so that people don't even know that it's there. Only you would know because you set the name and you can connect to it. And that's a way of protecting yourself from someone accessing your account.
How would you go about that?
So on your phones, different phones have different settings, or even your tablets will have settings. So when you turn on the feature, you can choose what you need to do with it, whether it make it discoverable or not.
Oh, right then and there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So keep it a secret. You have to be very cautious all the time. Always feel like somebody's looking over your shoulder. You don't want them to see it.
The other thing is selecting, you know, making sure there are passwords to protect it.
Yes.
So even on your phone, you could set a pin lock or a key lock where your finger goes around to unlock it. And that's a simple thing that you could do to protect it, rather than, you know, someone walks by, they pick up your phone, they have access to it. Maybe just have a pin lock on there. Some of the newer devices, tablets and computers, what they've got is fingerprint lock. So there are different ways you could protect yourself.
And you got to really just be careful out there with these devices. They're wonderful when they work. They're horrible when they don't. Thanks, Abed.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.